Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 8:03 a.m. and you are listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And this is going to be an uplifting, inspirational, highly motivational show for you guys today on this Thursday. We have with us local Auroran filmmaker, Mr. Andre Boyd.
Hello, Aurora. How you doing? Good morning.
Good to have you, brother. So we're going to have a spirited discussion and get to know about Andre. We are currently downtown, and y'all are going to be blown by the beauty of this. I'm really excited for this conversation today, and really excited to get some motivation in our mornings, even during this time of the crisis and the pandemic and things shutting down. The spirit is not diminished. So, with that being said, first things first, applications to join the Aurora Community Review Board, the Civilians Review Board, are online at the city's website. The link was posted to our Facebook last night. The final date to submit an application will be Tuesday, December 22nd. Saturday, the 19th of December, Faith Lutheran Church will be hosting their annual church nativity scene. During the performance, visitors will be invited to join the choir in singing traditional carols. After the performance, hot chocolate and cookies will be served, and a petting zoo will be open. Guests are invited to take their own nativity scene pictures. The public is invited. Admission, parking, and refreshments are free. Shout out to Faith Lutheran Church. It's a very nice thing to be doing for the folks. And a petting zoo, you know, I was always partial to the llama. All right. Wesley and Flowing Forth United Methodist Churches, Temple, Benai, Israel, New England Congregational Church, and Art Bar, Art Gallery, all in Aurora, having the Light Up the Night, Candlelight and Community from 6 to 6:30 p.m. Monday, December 21st. Using hashtag Aurora Light Up, community organizations, faith communities, nonprofits, and neighborhoods are invited to pick a location, bring candles, and stand together in unity and silence for 30 minutes. Shout out to all of those faith organizations, and shout out to Alan Benson as well. Downtown Aurora, Mundy Park, the Star, and then also the gazebo on Stope are going to be locations for, guess what, folks? More nice, socially distanced pictures. Using the resources found on the auroradowntown.org page. You can find out different locations and things like that, and the next setup for the pictures will be on the 5th, which is in a couple of days, y'all, a couple of days. The last round of pictures look very nice. Shout out to all the families who had the pics taken. Y'all were looking really good out there, making the city look good. We like to see that stuff. Shout out to all of the Aurora artists involved in a lot of the beautifying of the downtown area, specifically on Broadway and Downer. If you are going around, you'll see that on Cottonseed Creative Exchange, you've got some artwork there. You've also got a lot of good artwork by artists like Joshua Schultz, Rebecca, shout outs, Rural Public Art Commission, shout outs flowing this morning. I mean, the shouts are just Jen Ingram Art. Yvonne, what up? Shout outs down there, you know, Broadway, we see you, we see you. So you guys really go out, take a look. There's a lot of great themes, and Aurora Express is one of the main themes that we're trying to capture this holiday, and that's transportation, specifically the railway, for many years and generations in Aurora. So shout out to Aurora Downtown for putting that on as well. All right. Now, I also would be remiss if I did not tell you that there is a new store on Farnsworth. Is it 1017? Forgive me if I massacred your avenue. Damien, shouts out. New Find. It is a store, it's a retail store, and every day, their motto is every day is Black Friday. So you go in there, prices start off like on Monday at like $6, and then Tuesday they go down to $5, and it just keeps going down every single day of the week, and you can find some really good stuff. It's a new business. Please check it out. They're doing really good things for the community. Dakari to go, shouts out. Shout of the intersection of New York and Lake Street, the old Spizzico's. Spizzico's is a staple in Aurora for a long time, but now it is back in the form of a great place called Dakari to go. They got really good pizza. what they do with the tomato slices, they thin when they put them on there. Oh man, it's so good. That's the Supreme, if you're a Supreme guy like me. Anyway, that is everything with the news, and I would also like to tell you guys the weather. The weather at this very moment is 28 degrees. It is kind of chilly out there. It's a sunny day, however. The high today will be 43 degrees, and it looks like that will be reached at about 1 p.m. Tomorrow will be sunny and 43 degrees as well. And I started off saying because it is Friday, so I'm gonna just let that keep. I'm gonna lock that in for y'all. All right. So with that is the news for the day. And now we get into our interview with our friend Mr. Boyd. How you doing, man?
I am doing great. How are you doing today, Curtis?
I'm doing great. Good to see you.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on down for an interview.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Pleasure.
As a local Auroran, I thought it'd only be good to capture you with the splendor.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Loving the view.
Yeah. We always try to do the very best for our guests. So, for those who don't know who you are, please tell us again who you are and where you're from.
So, my name is Andre Boyd. I am from Aurora, Illinois. I was born and raised here. I am a independent filmmaker, writer, producer, sometimes musician.
Okay.
So, a jack of all trades in the fine arts, so to speak.
Nice. Very cool. You gotta be.
Yes, you
right?
do.
We can't be mentally stuck or have our eggs in one basket.
No, the creative urge's gotta flow.
Right. When it comes to creativity, is it born in you, or is it something that you can acquire over time?
I believe you can acquire it over time. It helps if it was born in you, but creativity comes at you in many ways. I mean, you can be just driving down the street and then see something and get triggered by it, and then want to create something that's similar from it. So even if you're not born with it, you can pick it up. That's the beauty about it.
I talk to you, and I think about just the things that I see in a day-to-day, either taking pictures or just taking a little bit of footage or something like that, and just thinking about what else it can be.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of that in Aurora to look at.
Oh, Aurora has a beautiful landscape. I mean, there's the whole downtown area is just beautiful in spots. I particularly like coming down Downer.
Yeah.
So many buildings with historical value, and you can just see the architecture, and you capture it with right angles, capture it on film. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to school East Aurora High School.
Okay.
I'm a Tomcat.
Yes. Excited. Shout out.
Yes.
There's a lot of y'all on this show for some reason.
Well, shout out to my Blackhawks too. We keep our relatives.
Yeah, I got both mugs in my house, so and post high school, where'd you go?
Post high school, I went to Wabanzi College down there over in Sugar Grove.
Okay.
Studied art, vocal training, and psychology. Didn't really finish it off because I wanted to pursue a career. I got a couple opportunities, so I jumped onto those. Started doing a little music, and eventually I found my way to theater. I had theater training before in East Aurora under Arlene Hawks, and it had left me, and then all of a sudden it came back with like a fury. I got called back to do a stage play, and after I did that, I knew this is where I wanted to be.
Growing up, what impact did your mom have in your life?
Oh man, I still get grounded. so the impact hasn't stopped.
Yeah, moms will do that.
Yeah. But she, in this type of industry, it's always good to have a great support system. So mom has always been supportive about it. She loves seeing me on TV here and there, so she'll go and call everybody. Look, my baby's on TV.
Yeah.
So support system is great with mom.
Yeah. My mom's she got my mom's a supporter of the show and all that. I might as well be her cat to my mom.
Yes, got it. Nothing like mom. Nothing like mom.
When we talk about Aurora,
yes,
a lot of people, not just you and I, but a lot of people I've talked to say that Aurora, being the second largest city in Illinois,
that's right,
could be doing more. Do you feel that way?
Well, I saw an upswing, and maybe I'm not looking at it with the right eyes, but like this last year, I seen like an upswing and more talent coming to the forefront. So it's on the rise, at least from what I see. There's more people that are being more participant in activities. So I think it's pretty much getting really good.
I've always felt that. I've always seen it growing.
Yep.
I've not seen it go I've seen from what I hear of its heyday, I see nothing but just obvious growth.
Yes, I'm really happy to see the youth partaking in a lot of activities. That they're being more vocal, they're being recognized for their work too. That's the big thing. You got the leaders here actually taking time out and giving the youth their chance to express themselves.
What's the biggest change in Aurora that you've personally seen in your life?
Biggest change, I would say more opportunity. I think there's been more opportunity as far as the arts go. Now, of course, there's going to be some things that you got to put like legislation on or whatever. But from what I've seen, there's been more opportunity for people to expand. Pre-COVID, obviously, businesses were expanding really good. I know because I was one of the people that were down here doing things. And I hadn't seen, in all the years I've been here for, over 40 years. And in all my time here, I hadn't seen that kind of growth. And so I think it's getting really good. I would like to see more black-owned businesses, but we are working on that.
Right. I will say as well, though, to piggyback off what you said.
Yes.
A couple of the ones I shouted out were black owned too. So I do believe that, like, in addition to not just the rise of the arts,
yes,
certainly, the diversity is on the rise too, in ownership and things like that.
Yes. Well, Aurora, for me, Aurora's always been a real diverse city. It's just now you're getting more of it. Now you're seeing more people willing to accept different cultures, and that propels more businesses to get, how can I put this, more clientele of diverse backgrounds, and that's a great thing.
That's right. Very important too. Yeah.
Yes,
we're getting those out of towners and all that.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm on the gram. I'm seeing. I'm in Batavia searching, but I'm seeing Aurora stores. I'm seeing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. What would you say in regards to at least downtown, and we're going to get into the filming aspect and everything that you do, what would you say downtown for you in regards to filming and, the scenery? I'm speaking specifically of the shots. What's some of what do we have in this town that others don't?
Oh man, the locales here are very, I would say, eclectic compared to like a lot of other cities that I've shot in. Take for instance like the parking garage, and there's the little building where the former local Aurora television company used to be at. There's little walkways and paths that you can film down up in there, and it's lighted really well. So it gives your film or your filming a bunch of different ways to shoot. Many different angles, and each angle works. So there's a lot of spots like that down here downtown. There's one spot in particular on River Street, and there's a little walkway, and they have like ivy vines coming down the building. I'm like, man, I don't see that anywhere. Yeah,
oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's like a little hideaway.
Yeah.
By the library.
Yeah.
So, Aurora, the downtown area is filled with places like that, and that is beautiful. That's beautiful and cinematic for me.
Yeah, that's River Street. Yep. That building. It's a little dip off.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Right. Once you get past the college.
It looks like an old French winery or something like that. It looks really good.
Yeah, but then when you walk back there, it's like a wide open area. It's like, man, this is crazy.
Also what I like too is the fact that we have a river. We got the Fox River too, so that little trail back there that goes down, so river the opposite way, runs to that trail back there, which then goes behind the Prisco Center.
That's right.
And you got that. at the right angle, you can't even see the building where the hills are. So it looks like Anne of Green Gables back there. And
Yep. There's that little spot right in the middle of the trail. That's right.
Before we get on to the filmmaking, I do want to ask you one more Aurora question. I'm gonna get it out the way now.
Ask me many.
Up top. If I was an outsider coming into town,
yes,
and I'm looking for a good place to grab a meal, where we just sitting, brother.
Man, you're the hard finder. Oh man, I honestly like the Pancake House over on Lake Street.
Aurora Pancake House.
Yes, that is one of my favorite spots to go.
Shout out.
It's always nice, great service. You feel like you're at home. Never had a complaint about the place. And the hash browns are off the charts.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Oh, the omelets.
Oh man, don't even get me started.
Right. The omelet. Yeah.
Yes.
Everything. Pancakes is good. The coffee is good. They always there to refill you. Just when you thought you need to warm up, here they come. Bam.
Fun fact here, man. A couple of times when we were filming here, actors that are from out of town, they seem to gravitate toward that place. They've never been there before. So it was a time where like we were filming a bunch of things and. Hey, let's meet up at the Pancake House. Or Pancake House. I'm like, you been there before? No, but let's meet up there. This was happening with every actor that came in. I was like, wow, there's going to be something there.
It has it looks old too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell it's old. You can tell it's not from this era.
That's true. But that's the uniqueness about it. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spots that are like that here in Aurora, and that's what I love about it.
So filmmaking.
Yes.
What can you tell us about it? What's it like for you when you do that, and how long have you been doing it?
So I've been an actor for about 19 years. I just started filmmaking, I'd say 4 years ago.
Okay.
There's nothing like it for me. It's the ultimate way to express, and it's really, for me, about meeting people. At the core, I'm a very people person, and this was the perfect opportunity to do so. You find out about people, you find out what they like, and you build relationships, and that's the most important thing out of this, honestly.
You keep saying a specific word. You keep saying opportunity. I keep hearing you say opportunity.
Yes.
And I just want to put a flag in the conversation real quick. We're going to get back to the filmmaking, but you keep saying opportunity, and that's what. Yeah, no, I'm not just looking for opportunity, and when that's knocking, you got to have ears to hear and eyes to see.
Eyes to see. That's right.
And it's not just right what you see at the sometimes it's the long game.
Well, there's so much of it, As you get, a little bit more up in life, you start seeing more things change, and change only happens because of opportunity. Opportunity knocks and the door's open. Here we go, and then the door opens there. Here we go. That's what it is.
It is what it is.
That's exactly how you get to where you need to get to. A lot of people like to translate the word into networking. So, networking, opportunity goes hand in hand.
Maybe that's the title of the next film or something.
There you go.
Network opportunity goes hand in hand.
There you go.
What's the first film that you produced? Is that correct? What you said?
So wow.
That you made, or
So my first film was called A Special Jewel. It was shot like with a little iPhone, just get my foot wet into the door, and it's a little ditty about a gem that has mystical powers, and whoever wields the gem, it brings out their inner self, and it enhances it to what they, the thing that they like the most. We had like a detective in it that was looking for the gem and hunting it down, and they found the gem, but it was the fake gem, and so the other guy got the gem, and so now I'm kind of working on a sequel because that was a cliffhanger.
Okay.
So it ended up, it was really weird. It was a weird shoot. Like, this is where creativity was just going off the charts. It's got vampires, Texas Rangers, detectives, and it was all shot around here in Aurora, and that was the good thing about it. the funny thing about that film, that's where I won my first award for shooting with the iPhone, and it wasn't a great film, but people like the story and they like the sound effects and they like the scenery.
Right.
So thank you, Aurora, for that. So when you have like those types of scenic like views here in Aurora, you can put films like that together. And so with that film, I knew right after that, this is it. This is what I want to do. More so because the camaraderie was just perfect.
Right. What was the next one after that?
The next one was I kind of jumped on two projects. I started working on a series called Detective Stories, and it's an anthology-based series. Every story is different detective having a different case, and a movie called The Unlucky Man, which had to do with the guy having a gambling problem. Well, one guy having a gambling problem, which led to another friend getting involved, and he actually had a worse gambling problem.
I love it.
Yeah, well, don't love it yet. You haven't seen it yet.
Okay, yeah.
So don't love it yet. But yeah, I actually had that movie with a bunch of actors who were doing background work, and I wanted to get them into the forefront because I did some work on some of the Chicago shows, and we would talk about getting into the forefront. So I kind of tried to help them out and get them going, and now you can see them on Amazon. So that was awesome. So those were the two projects I did next, and for those two projects, they're all short films at this point.
Right.
We're starting to tackle now feature lengths.
Okay. What's a short film and a feature length? What's the time requirement?
So the time requirement, depending on who you ask, like I know the Motion Picture Association of America, their criteria is that a full-length film is 40 minutes.
Okay.
40 plus. Anything really under that is considered short film.
Gotcha. Okay. When you started doing things and creating and all that kind of stuff, what did you learn along the way?
A lot, man.
Because your second film was not shot on iPhone.
Oh no, actually it was.
Okay.
It was. What I learned, I needed more clearer looks, better quality. So I started looking at videographers, and I ran across Bob Lockwood, and he was my videographer for a while. We embarked on a couple of projects, and the more the clarity came, I started learning that it wasn't only about picture; it was also about sound as well.
Right.
So we started working on sound, putting it all together, learning the intricacies of taking multiple shots, filming more. This is really what's important. Filming more than you think you should have. Because when it gets to the editing part of it, you need more footage because you may need part for something. You may have cut off a shot way before you should have. So you can patch like one scene to the next.
Right.
And that's make it more cohesive.
Right.
That's how it's done. So that was a really interesting trick to learn there. And also color grading. Color grading is very important.
What's color grading?
So color grading is like when you have, let's say you're watching a movie and there's too much red in it, too much blue. Sometimes that's the way that the film is made to capture moods. So knowing what moods suit, like let's say like if you're filming a sad scene, you're not looking for something vibrant yellow or whatever.
Right.
So the tone of it would be like a darker, more muted color. So color grading gives you that, and also, let's say like a couple of your actors are wearing red shirts, you kind of want to dim down the color to make it not so overexposed or oversaturated.
Gotcha.
So that's what color grading will do for you.
Got me looking at the quality of this video.
You're good.
Yeah, we look at well, I'll get to the editor later, y'all. All right. The time is now 8:28 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We're glad to be joined by Mr. Andre Boyd. So, what to you is when you look at films,
Yes.
what are you looking for specifically yourself? Not just being a movie guy who likes a flick.
So, just as a fan, or you mean as a filmmaker?
Do you ever, like, when you're watching something, do you ever nitpick the hell out of it?
Yeah. I've become pretty bad at watching movies. I'm still a fan of it, but you start picking up things. Like, you'll see extras in the background that were in one place and they should have been in another place instead. And when you watch it back to editing, you're wondering, like, well, how did this extra get over to this one spot? And you can't help but notice it being behind the camera now. I really like watching the movies to see how their story is broken down. Generally, I try to break my story down in 3 acts. There's the beginning, and then there's the beginning pretty much is character development, so forth. The second one is where we're trying to get our character to. And then the third part of it, did the character get to that point? So I guess we kind of break it down in the film industry. We use like words like protagonist, antagonist.
Oh yeah, of course. You have the hero or the bad guy.
Exactly. But you see, that's the thing. It's not always a human form. It may be like how can I put this? Like
Twister.
A protagonist could Let's say like the protagonist is like let's say the movie Up. This is one of my favorites. Getting older, that's the antagonist of it. The protagonist of it is what are you going to do with life? Like, what is going to give you joy? Now, a lot of people miss out on that watching the movie. But the joy of it was the kid coming into the guy's life and giving him hope, and then the relationship was built after that. A lot of people never see that. So that's what being behind the film gets you to see. Things that the normal viewer wouldn't let you, normal viewer would not pick up on.
You ever seen the movie Sling Blade?
Yes.
All right. You know what? Maybe I look into this movie a little bit too much. But I really like that movie. I really like the range that it shows of Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton was awesome on there, yes.
I watched that movie, and to me, it kind of is a metaphor for, like, privilege in a way, too.
Yeah.
If you notice,
I can see that.
Dude got out the crazy house, the sanitarium.
Yes.
After probably the most brutal murder in that town in the history of America.
Uh-huh.
Off the bat, he get a little dough. He goes to the thing. He meets a lady's kid. Well, they have him come over for dinner. He gets a job off the bat because the local pastor hooked him up with the Woodopy Bam.
Yes.
He gets the chance to sleep at the house of the dude who was the director of the sanitarium that he got out of.
That's right.
And he went through the whole shebang.
Where was the consequences? Where was the consequences?
How many other people in the story of America could have had such a ride?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm looking into that movie too deep.
Yep. Huh. No, I don't think you're looking at it like. I think your analogy is perfect on it. Like, well, your perception of it is perfect because I thought the same thing. That the guy did the thing and then he gets out of jail and he's treated like almost a king. So why would that? This is one thing about cinema that allows your creativity. You can make the story you want to make.
I love that.
So. And that's the beauty of it, It doesn't have to be clear cut. Now, I mean, I guess you want your audience to buy into it, but that comes with compelling writing. You have to be able to tell a story that engages the audience. Now, the hook of it is like when you're making a film or when you're writing, your first, I like to say 15, 20 minutes are very critical. And in that movie, you found out, that he was the guy that did a crime and got released. It's like, okay, well, where's this going? That sets up the rest of the story.
Right.
So with that story, you had to have something different. So I understood where the writer was going with it because always,
yeah,
there's never a second chance for people getting out of prison or whatever.
Right.
So this is what the writer wanted to show. Yeah, there was privilege in it. Totally agree.
It was I love that movie.
But it's good. It's very well written. But the key point of that is like you got two separate audiences.
Right.
You got people that are looking at it as privilege. You got people looking at it like, oh, this is something different.
Is it a mental health movie?
Exactly.
Kind of thing?
Exactly.
Right.
You didn't know really where to classify that movie. I mean, it was a drama, you know, so forth, but you didn't really know how to receive it, and that's why people gravitated toward it. So. And
then in the end, it's like it starts off with you hearing about something gruesome and grisly. Mm-hmm. Goes the whole movie with nothing. And in the end, it ends with him killing dude with the.
Yeah, exactly. It's. Oh, sorry for the spoiler. Yeah. For those that haven't seen it. But no. That's exactly the point there.
Yeah. Enough talking about other people's movies. Mm-hmm. I want to ask you a couple more points too here.
Sure.
That's very important. That I want the audience to know, especially in terms of Aurora creativity.
Yes.
What is character development?
So, it's a way for you to get your character to relate to the audience. You know, how will the character be received? Mm. You know, who can relate to the character? In every instance, even like with Marvel movies or so forth, you can relate to a certain character, why they do what they do, what is their end goal, how do they go about achieving that goal, and so forth. So you want to break down the characters so you know how to formulate the story.
Right.
You always want to do you can get like the outline of the story, but the character development is kind of the meat and potatoes of it because you have to have that. You know, there's no way around it. The story can fluctuate. Character development really can.
Gotcha. That's right.
Yeah.
When I look at some of the movies that I think are really good too, it's pretty much, you know, the character is going to pull you in.
Yes.
And he's going to pretty much set the tone for you and everything.
Absolutely.
When it comes to acting, as an actor,
yes.
What are you know, what can you tell us? What's it like, man?
Acting for me is reacting. You have to. There's techniques that help you.
I don't know why there's a saw doing some sawing in the back. This never happens. I swear to God.
Now you're catching the blue collar side of Aurora.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah. What's the best way I can put this in so it makes sense? So let's say you're putting a story together and you need to be able to reach out to the audience. God, it's a hard way. I can't really think of how to put this.
What do people most, you know, as an actor, is there one thing that people get wrong about acting?
I mean, it depends on the writer, really, what they're looking for. Like with me, let's say if I was doing a drama base, I'm looking for emotion. I'm looking for how you're receiving the lines. You know, if you understand the story, are you invested in it?
Right.
We'll get auditions and we'll see some people that are, you know, they're good, but they're not. But they've been trained to be good. And then there are actors that will audition, but they're not trained, but they definitely vibe with the character synopsis.
Right.
So you'll get a better performance out of that if a person is more invested to it. And for the record, crying is not always a solution. And it drives me crazy because people think, oh, I gotta cry to get this part. No.
Right.
You're actually making more of a mistake than that.
You're playing a hunter, for goodness sake.
Exactly. Emotional hunter.
Yeah.
So, and there are movies like that. But but really, acting, man, is understanding the character.
Okay.
How do you get to? How are you going to portray the character to make the audience believe that this is actually real? You know, like what are your key points you want to emphasize on this character?
Gotcha.
So you have to do a lot of homework on it. Normally, the process is that if you're selected for a part, if you have the look is one thing. Then we'll send you sides that we feel like you're the person outside, or like certain lines that the character will say. And then we want to see if you understand the sides where the scene is going. Really all about the scenes, understanding the scenes.
Interesting. What would you say to the hold on.
Yeah, because this is gonna you won't let you ask this question. I've dealt that trade many times. Oh, it's a short one. Okay, he's going on about his business.
Nice. To the prospective filmmaker, what would you say to them? What do you say to the guy? Just any advice you give to them?
Try not to be too ambitious about it, and what I mean by that is like really be tight about where you're trying to go. Like add too many dimensions to the story. Like get your basic outline, and then really solidify that without going overboard.
Okay.
You really have to understand the kind of audience that you're trying to reach with the film that you're making.
Correct.
What is your core audience? If you and there are people who are really invested in certain types of films. So if you eliminate that fan base, then you could be on the wrong side of the film. You just have to like give the audience what they want, and then give them maybe just a little bit more, but don't go over the edge. Don't go over,
Okay.
Yeah.
Very.
Know your perspective. Know where you're trying to go with the story.
So basically, in film,
Unless it's sci-fi.
right? Then you can, then you can do that.
Yeah.
The alien coming out the dude's chest and all that, but then it's on the face and all that, so it's like, crazy.
Great scene.
One of the best scenes in a movie. The convulsions and then the original Alien.
Yeah, the cast didn't know that was going to happen. That was the amazing part about it. That was a general reaction to that.
Really?
Yeah, the cast didn't know.
I didn't know that.
So, well, see, that's the thing. You always have to, be one step ahead. That's where the creative part comes from. A lot of times in horror movies, they'll do things like that where the actor won't know what's going on because they want a real reaction to it. And that's why I say acting is reacting. It all comes full circle.
For the record, I interviewed Arlene Hawks.
Yeah, I saw it. Mama Hawks. Yes, I saw it. Okay, I got you on this show now. They're talking to Mama Hawks now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm really, how about that? How about that? I didn't know until you said it that she had taught you. That's awesome. That's wonderful.
Oh, man, that was the best teacher I had, man. She opened up that door for me, and the rest was history. I knew that I wanted to be an actor. Mm-hmm. I didn't know at the time I wanted to be a filmmaker because it's high school.
Right.
And I'm sorry if I dated your Mama Hawks. I wasn't there. But what she has taught me, man, it's really taking effect right now.
That's good.
I told her the other day, thank you for this. This is a lesson I needed.
Much appreciated.
Yes.
The time is now 8:42 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, second largest city's first daily news podcast, coming to you straight from downtown Aurora, y'all. Straight from downtown, as you can see. Only the best. Shout outs to Aurora Business United, sponsoring the show for this episode. This is great, man. We're doing a lot of good work. Mm-hmm. Coming soon together. Shouts out Bob Lockwood, Judd, the whole squad, man. Everybody.
Yes.
Now, I wanted to know this, and I'm going to ask a filmmaker.
Okay.
How much do you shoot or have you shot before, in search of the right frame or angle? Have you gone through so much footage and you're like, damn, I can only salvage out of this actually X amount of, does that happen to you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the editing table now. Generally, when you have a crew, you'll have a person that specifically is hired out for editing.
Mm-hmm.
But we're independent filmmakers, so there's not a lot of money
Right.
going around, so we kind of have to learn how to do things ourselves.
Right.
So I took it on the mantle of doing the editing for our work. And when we're filming, we never really think about how much we're filming until it gets to the editing board. Now it's like,
damn.
oh man, I have 5 different angles of the same shot. But it's beautiful in the way that you can tell the story in a very different way. Finding the right angle, making sure your actors are being consistent in the shot. If they're scratching their forehead, they gotta scratch their forehead when we move the camera at the same time. It's very key things like that you pick up on when you're going through the footage. So for me, dealing with all that footage doesn't bother me, honestly.
Right.
But it can be tiresome because time never stops. So when you're filming, let's say you're filming outdoor, and particularly winter, where it gets darker earlier, you're limited if you're filming outside. So you got to get the sunlight, and you got to get this done.
Now.
A lot of things come into play. Equipment may stop working. Actor may forget lines. Who knows? So you have to reshoot. Now, you shouldn't be up to 10 shots on the same scene. That's kind of want to go back to the drawing board and see what you're doing wrong. At the most, I would have maybe four different angles.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't get too far out of hand.
Okay. Any character that you would like to play?
Oh man!
If Spielberg's casted for or whatever,
yeah.
I need you to, who do you want to play?
Oh man, I always I would like to try my hand at being a lawyer. That's a type of character. Now I'm big on superheroes though, so
okay.
I was mad when they casted the Black Panther. I was like, oh man, I wanted that role,
Yeah.
but it wasn't gonna work with this frame. So hey, I gotta let that one go. But yeah, man, I would like to play a lawyer at some point because there's just so much jargon and so much that you have to know,
Right.
And it seems like a challenge, and I love challenges. So that would be the role I would want to play.
The show ends on a positive note. What is your message for the people of Aurora today, Thursday, here in December?
I would say keep dreaming to achieve and never let anybody tell you can't. I've been told a lot of times, oh, you can't do this. And more particularly being an actor. You don't look the part. You will never do this. You'll never do that. I've been on commercials. I've been on television. I've been in movies. I am living proof that you can. So always dream to achieve.
On behalf of the second largest city's first daily news podcast, I want to say thank you to our guest, Mr. Boyd, for coming down to talk to us today, man. This was a great interview and a great discussion.
Oh man, I loved it.
Yep. And also for all of you listeners out there, I want you guys to be blessed. Y'all have a very safe day today. Yes. Tomorrow is Friday. It's supposed to be a nice day. Check out downtown Aurora, socially distanced and responsibly. If you can, check out some of the art. You can drive to do that. So, hit Treadwell for your little, use the app, get your coffee, boom, boom, and just drive and have fun. Other than that, we'll see you guys back tomorrow for another great episode of Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Peace.
Peace.